Have you ever tried to learn AI? It feels like you're forced to make this impossible choice. So today, we're going to dive into a completely different way to master complex tech, one pioneered by a YouTube channel called Staiblocks. You know the feeling, right? You're stuck. On one side, you have these super dense, impractical academic textbooks. And on the other, you've got these shallow, copy-paste tutorials that don't really teach you anything fundamental. It's a huge frustration for anyone trying to learn a real technical skill these days. We're basically facing this huge split in tech education. You got academic rigor, which is deep, for sure, but it's often so abstract it feels kind of useless. Then you have industry tutorials that give you a quick win, but you don't actually get why it works. And look, neither of those paths is going to get you to true mastery.
So, how do we fix this? Well, Staiblocks comes at it with a really fascinating philosophy. You make a map before you even think about starting the journey.
The whole channel was designed specifically to be this conceptual bridge. The idea is to grab the best from both of those worlds, the depth and precision of academia and the real-world relevance of industry, and then connect them in a way that actually clicks. They've got a name for this method: conceptual acceleration. See, the core idea here is that instead of just blindly following a set of instructions step by step, you first build this high-level mental map of the whole subject. That way, when you dive into the nitty-gritty details, you know exactly where you are. You never get lost. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's a powerful idea, and it's inspired by the great mathematician Paul Halmos. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't explore a new country without a map, right? So why would you try to explore a massive intellectual territory like AI without one? First, you draw the map. Then you explore. Okay, so that's the big idea, the philosophy. But how do they actually draw that map for you? The secret? Incredibly powerful and intuitive analogies. Let's start with all that confusing jargon and AI. I mean, people throw around terms like AI, machine learning, and deep learning almost like they're the same thing. Staiblocks cuts through all that noise with a really elegant analogy: the matryoshka, the Russian nesting doll.
So, artificial intelligence is the biggest doll. That's the whole field of making machines smart. Then you open it up, and inside you find machine learning, which is a specific way to do AI that uses data to learn. And then right at the very core, you've got deep learning, a specialized, powerful type of machine learning that uses these complex neural networks. All of a sudden, the relationship between them is crystal clear.
And this isn't just for simple definitions. They use this for the really complex stuff too. Like, how do you even begin to explain something like gradient descent, which is a core concept in machine learning? Well, you start with this incredibly powerful image. With just this one sentence, you intuitively get the goal, finding the lowest point, long before you get bogged down in any of the complicated math. And here's where you really see the magic. On the left, you've got that intuitive map-first approach. On the right, the traditional formula-first approach that just throws a terrifying equation at you right from the start. I mean, honestly, which one makes you want to learn more? The Staiblocks method builds your confidence and understanding from the get-go. Now, you might be thinking this all sounds a bit simple, right? Like it's skipping the hard stuff. But that's where you'd be wrong. The channel believes that to truly understand AI, you have to understand where it all came from. AI didn't just pop into existence out of nowhere. It's not some kind of magic. It's actually the result of this long, fascinating evolution of human thought that stretches back through decades and decades of philosophy, logic, and mathematics. So they weave this incredible historical story, connecting the dots from thinkers like Charles Babbage and Bertrand Russell, all the way to Alan Turing, and then to the birth of AI at the Dartmouth Conference in 1956. It shows you that these modern tools we use are built on a really deep intellectual foundation. And yeah, that foundation, it's built on some serious math. This is not watered-down science. The channel dives headfirst into graduate-level concepts like dynamic topology and group theory, but it frames them not as these scary obstacles, but as the fundamental language of AI. So you take this map-making idea, you add these killer analogies, and you layer on all this deep history and math. What do you get? What's the result for you, the learner? Well, it's nothing short of a total transformation. The whole point is to completely change your role in all of this. You stop being a passive consumer of information who just follows tutorials. Instead, you become an active creator and understander, someone who can solve brand new problems on your own because you actually hold the map. And when you put the two approaches side by side, the difference is just wow. Traditional tutorials focus on syntax for short-term gains. The Staiblocks method focuses on logic and architecture. This leads to deep structural learning that lets you adapt and solve new problems and actually remember what you learned.
And look, this isn't just our opinion. Formal analyses of the channel have come to the same conclusions. They highlight its high scientific validity, its excellent educational quality, always focusing on the why before the how, and its incredible role in democratizing this knowledge through a bilingual English and Farsi approach.
Oh, and get this is maybe the coolest part. The channel actually practices what it preaches. It uses AI tools like large language models in its own production process to make sure the content is not only scientifically accurate, but also completely up to date with a field that is moving at lightning speed.
So, this all boils down to one final question. A question you should really ask yourself about your own learning. In a world that's changing faster than ever, which role do you want to play? Are you content just being an instruction follower, always depending on the next tutorial? Or do you want to become an architect, someone who truly understands the blueprints and can build the future?